Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot. It is June 5th. It's a Saturday, and I said that I was probably going to release this video on Friday, and I didn't. Sorry about that. You know, life, it gets in the way. So, today is the much awaited pendulum video. So, you guys sent in some really great questions. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go through them almost like in the order I received them. So there's not any logic or rhyme or reason to the way the questions are going to be asked or come up. So for those of you who subscribed or are new to my channel, welcome to Soulprint. For those of you who have never seen one of my pendulum readings before, let me introduce you to this pendulum. So this pendulum, when it is ready to talk, it's going to go side to side like that, okay? Pendulum, show me yes. Yes is back and forth. And pendulum, show me no. And it goes in a circle, okay? You may see a slight vibration in my hand. I'm not moving my hand. It is the energy that is moving through me to the pendulum, okay? It's just as simple as that. So here we go. Let's go. Okay, so I've got a couple questions pertaining to actually Alberta first, which many of you know is where I live. So I'm just going to do those and we're going to move forward from there. So the first question is the reopening here in Alberta going like to work? Is it going to have some duration? Yeah, it looks like we finally maybe hit a place where that could be a good thing. Are we going to experience a fourth wave as a result of the reopening? Okay, that's a no. All right. Now, for those of you who maybe don't know, our premier here in Alberta at this point has a 25% approval rating. People are appalled with the way he handled, or frankly didn't handle, the COVID response. He's sort of like a little bit of a mini Trump, you know, and it was all about, you know, pandering to the extreme conservatives, and it was all about, you know, keeping businesses open and going. And, you know, not that long ago, several weeks ago, we were in a real bad state. I mean, I think we had the highest infection rate, well, for sure in North America, and I think it was the second highest in in the world, or it was horrible. Anyways, last question about Canada. Oh, well, two more. Is Kenny's approval rating going to go up? Okay, so yeah, that's to be expected. So let's ask this. Is it going to be enough to save him and allow him to be reelected? That's a no. Is Rachel Notley, who would be the opposition here in Alberta, is she likely to be reelected, the NDP party? Yes. Okay. And let's ask about Trudeau. Is Justin Trudeau likely to be re-elected based on the energies as we read them now? That's a pretty darn strong yes. And is he going to win a majority government? And that is a no. And you know, maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Okay, so this is kind of the final Canadian question, but it certainly impacts people in the United States. So, is the Canadian-US border likely to be reopened anytime before September? Yes. Okay, so let's see if we can break this down. Is it likely to reopen before the end of June? No. Is it likely to open in the month of July? Okay, and I'm feeling the end. So let's just, you know, look at that. So is the reopening of the Canadian-US border likely to take place within the last part of the month of July of 2021? Yeah. Okay, so now let's move on to, you know, some of the crazy, right? is Michael Flynn going to be indicted based on activities that he may or may not, that he may have been involved in pertaining to the January 6th insurrection? Is he likely to face indictments? That's a pretty strong yes. So maybe somebody knows. So Flynn was pardoned by Trump. So then the question is, was he pardoned for anything he did while Trump was still in office, which would include January 6th, or was he simply pardoned for previous crimes, which I suspect was the answer? Okay. Is Flynn going to be court-martialed as a result of the comments he made about Myanmar? Yeah, no. Okay. I have to tell you, when I step into Flynn's energy, there is kind of a craziness, okay? He's really divorced from reality right now. He is like a pot of water, a boiling pot of water that is literally about to go over and, spew water all over the stove, okay? So he's not, based on the energy I'm seeing, and in my opinion, all that mentally stable right now, nor does he appear to actually be living in a state of any sort of actual reality. So there's that. Is Mitch MCConnell going to be around by time the year ends? Is he still going to be playing a role in U.S. politics? That's a no. Okay. And just so you know, give you a bit of a heads up, I'm going to be doing the reading that's going to get released early next week. I'm going to take a bit of a deep dive into the McConnells, both him and his wife Elaine. Here we go. Is Tucker Carlson likely to experience the word was karma that she used, but I mean, yes, of course he's going to suffer karma. Of course, it's going to come back on him, as it will with Sean Hannity. But I think a more specific question I want to ask is Tucker Carlson likely is he going to hold the popularity that he has now? No. Is Sean Hannity, same question, is he going to be able to hold the power and the popularity that he has now? No. Is Fox News going to, into 2022, are they going to maintain the large presence they have in media? The Fox News channel, which of course we know is not news. That's also looking like a no. I mean, I guess maybe it's possible, but even they have to pull back and not necessarily support every crazy thing that comes out of Trump's mouth. Let's just, for humor's sake, is Trump going to be reinstated as president of the United States this coming August? I'm going to ask that again. Is Trump going to be reinstated as president of the United States this coming August? No, of course he's not. Okay, so I've got a question here, and I got to tell you, I don't know what this story is about, so it's just a straight question. Is Harvard professor Charles Lieber, was his arrest connected to the Wuhan lab spread? Okay, that's a no. Forever ask the question. I'm really not in the loop of that. Okay, an interesting one. Is Stacy Abrams going to run for governor? Is she going to throw her hat in the ring for governor in 2022? Well, it looks like she certainly might. I have to say, you know, maybe the only thing, frankly, that cleans up Georgia as a result of the absolute mess that Brian Kemp has made of it. Is Brian Kemp going to be primaried? Well, that's interesting. That's looking like a yes. So that should be interesting to see what happens there. I wonder if he's going to upset Trump, and Trump's going to, suggest that somebody should run against him from the Republican Party. It wouldn't surprise me. Is Reverend Warnock, is he going to win his re-election? Yes. Okay, that's good news. Will the Democrats in Georgia win any new electoral seats in the 2022 midterms? Okay, so for right now, that's looking like a no. So, so this is both about Green and Boebert, I think her name is, the other female kind of really right wing. Is there punishment coming for the part they played in the January 6th insurrection? Yeah. So, I'm hearing the words, there's a lot more investigations going on than we are privy to, than we know of. And it feels very much like there are investigations that are yet to be started. Certainly Green will not be quiet and keep herself off of the radar. And I have to tell you, let me just ask. So is Green's role or her usefulness to the Republican Party likely to diminish by the end of this year? Is she going to lose the ground that she's holding now? It looks like she is. So I don't know. Maybe she's going to do something so outrageous. There is nothing they can do but get rid of her or punish her or really shut her down. Is Alan Weisselberg going to flip? It's a pretty strong yes. And I think it was yesterday, the news broke about this McConnell. I think that's the pronunciation of his name. I think it's Keith McConnell, who is the controller at Trump.org. So is he, he's got immunity, so he can't take the Fifth and not answer questions pertaining to any of his wrongdoing. So is he going? I'm going to ask it this way: and he's now been subpoenaed to go in front of the grand jury or the special grand jury, whichever one it is. So question is he going to be able to provide new or additional information that the investigators don't have clarity on? So it looks like he has some things to say that maybe they haven't yet uncovered or explored. Maxwell, is she going to expose Trump's activities when it comes to his relationship with Epstein? Looks like a no right now. Okay. Is the filibuster going to end? Is it going to end Okay, so yeah, it's going to end. Okay. Is that something that they're going to be able to manage to do within the next, say, 3 months? No. Okay. Are they going to be able to do it this year? Yes. Okay, and so interesting, if you remember, the last reading I did pertaining to the Democrats, I said that, Schumer was a slow burn, but he was going to blow. And so yesterday, I believe it was, he announced that he was going to start really pushing some stuff ahead starting this coming week. So that'll be interesting to see and just see what kind of tolerance or patience he has, because I really think he has also gotten right to the end of his rope. William DeJoy, is he, the Postmaster General, is he going to be removed from his position? Yes. Is he also facing significant legal jeopardy pertaining to, I don't know, election contributions or election fraud, kind of being a straw man? Yeah. Okay, good to know. Is DeJoy likely to be removed within, let's say, the next 6 months? Yep. So it's June, so by the end of the year, it looks like we can expect him to be walking away with his hat in hand. Is Mike Pompeo, going to face legal jeopardy for his actions while he was in office? Pompeo, is anybody going after him at this point? No. Okay, so he looks like he is still being protected by GOP, whatever it is. So we'll leave that there for now. Don't forget, a pendulum reads the energy in this moment. Okay, so things change. Are the Dems going to hold the Senate come midterms? Yes. Are the Dems going to increase? And that's going to be a heavy lift, because I think that the Democrats, at this point anyways, it's like there's not a lot of seats that they can flip. But, so are they going to increase the seats they have? Is that going to happen for the Dems this midterm? Yeah. Okay, and so I want to ask another question. So, everybody says statistically, the party that wins the election loses some of its power in the midterms. That is very, very typical of kind of the energy balancing or the political games that get played in the United States. One of the, I guess, more recent memories of when that did not happen was for Bush after 9/11. Is the Democratic Party going to end up in a stronger position after the midterms than they are now? Yes. So this looks like that is one of those situations where the country is in sort of such peril. It's in such a, I don't want to use the word dangerous, but, a difficult moment. It looks like there's going to be a cohesiveness coming around the Democrats as opposed to a loss of power. Is the meeting between Putin and Biden going to is there going to be any significant headway made there? No. Okay. Are there going to be more, sanctions or retribution coming from the United States directed at the Russian hackers? Is there going to be more coming down the pike as a result of that? No. Well, that's a curious answer. Hold on here. Let me make sure, I could clear my head. Okay, so is that something that Putin and Biden are going to talk about when they meet? Yes. Is there going to be any significant headway made with regards to that? Okay, I don't know if you guys heard yesterday, but Putin was defending the insurrectionists of January 6th. He wanted to know why they were being so harshly treated. This, of course, from the man who has a tendency to kill political critics. But apparently the insurrectionists are just being treated abominably by Putin's standards. So just give your head a shake about that. I'm going to re-ask that question because is there going to be some sort of additional sanctions or retribution for the hackers from the United States at this time? Okay, I'm still getting a no. Is there going to be sanctions or retribution coming later on down the road, perhaps into the new year? Yes. Okay, so that looks almost like as if there's a strategy behind the timing, I guess. I'm going to say it that way. Is Beto O'Rourke going to run for governor of Texas? Is Beto O'Rourke going to run for governor of Texas? At this time, it looks like a no, and that's really unfortunate because it's Abbott who is in Texas, and he is becoming more and more extreme. So let's ask this question. Is Abbott like, and I don't even know when the next elections are, and I don't know how long a term that Abbott is in and has, but let's just broadly ask this. Is Abbott likely to be reelected during the next election? So right now that's looking like a no. Is William Barr likely to be barred? Yes. He's going to lose his law license? Yes. Are the investigations into William Barr proceeding sort of quietly and under the radar? And that's also a yes. Okay. Ronna Romney McDaniel, is she going to be in trouble with regards to election fraud? That's also a yes. So, the thing is, I think as the Dems continue to consolidate power, that some of the things that they are sort of letting lie low right now may very well be revisited somewhere, down the line a little bit. This is the thing, right? Not everybody, they can't deal with everybody all at once. Not only do they not have the manpower, but in some ways it sort of sends out the wrong message, right? You sort of want to go after the biggest and most dangerous fish, and so I'm sorry, some people are going to get away with what they got away with and what they did simply because, at some point, it's not that you have to move on, but at some point it starts to look very petty, right? If you're trying to, get rid of every single Republican who did anything, right? I mean, hell, the whole party would be annihilated. Which frankly, I think it's pretty close to being anyways, right? Okay, so apparently on this Sunday, like tomorrow, There is a election going on in Mexico, and I think his name is Morena, but I could very much well be pronouncing that incorrectly. But he is trying to sort of consolidate more power. He's telling people, that, his party is the only party that can fix the problem. His party needs to be given sort of absolute control so they can deal with the corruption, et cetera, et cetera. So the question is he actually going to, is he going to be able to hold control of both houses? No. Okay, so as a result of this election, is he going to end up in a weakened position? Yes. Okay, so since the election's tomorrow, I guess we've only got a couple of days to see whether the pendulum was accurate on that one. Is Liz Cheney going to continue to stay in the Republican Party sort of in the immediate foreseeable future? Yes. Simply, is the Republican Party as we knew it going to continue to exist? It's gone. Will Trump's power over the GOP be diminishing by the midterms? And let's just ask this, even though I've said 100,000 times it's not going to happen, let's just double check. Is Trump going to run for president in 2024? No. Okay. One of the very first videos I put out was called Death by 1,000 Cuts. And it talked about the fact that once Trump left office, he literally was going to spend the rest of his life sort of fighting off legal issues, right? He was going to completely deplete everything he has, just trying to stave off all of the legal problems that he is going to have. So I've never seen him run for a second time. I've never seen him return to the White House. And I think a lot of what's going on right now is just a lot of him yakking. And the thing is, I really think, okay, well, let's just ask, is Trump's revenue starting to dry up? Yeah. Okay. And so things like the whole, I'm going to be reinstated by August. Is that really more about keeping the base donating to keep his cash flow going? Yeah. So this is the thing, right? He's going to say whatever he has to say to keep those Trumpsters, the MAGA people, just sort of continuing in this altered reality that they seem to be living in right now. Are there going to be a few senators who are going to end up being indicted for the role they played in the January 6th insurrection? Could there be a few of them that end up in trouble? Okay. And oopsie, probably don't want to throw my pendulum around. I was going to say, is Josh Hawley, is he going to be one of the ones that gets looked at? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Was the election of Mitch MCConnell somehow altered to ensure that he won that election with his 18% approval rating? Yeah, something went on there. Is that likely to be investigated? When the pendulum goes absolutely still like that, it means a couple things. It means this is not the right time to ask that question. Sometimes it means that can't be determined at this time. And sometimes it simply means, don't ask the question. So I guess that's what we know. Is Cinema, it's from Arizona, is she going to continue to provide a block, sort of, voting no when all the rest of the Dems vote yes, that kind of thing, going forward in terms of some of the big things that Biden wants to get done? Is she going to continue to be a block? Yeah, see, I think with her, and she's just new to this game, and I think that she may somehow overstep or lose some credibility, but it feels as if, between her and Manson, I mean, she is so much more vulnerable simply because she doesn't have the political savvy. So, Manson, is he going to eventually back down so that things can get moving? Yeah. So I saw something really interesting today, and it was sort of a headline pertaining to his constituent in West Virginia. And what they said was that a lot of people, agree with, kind of the role he's taking right now, or his actions. But they're saying that they're wondering if what he's trying to achieve, which is this sort of bipartisan effort, if that's even achievable right now, and if continuing to block is actually going to really accomplish anything. He's very, very old school. The other thing I didn't quite realize is that he held his seat in that election, and Trump apparently won that area by like over 60%, a 60-point margin. So, he's in a red area, and yet somehow he keeps managing to hold. Now, yeah, is he a little bit more conservative than a lot of Democrats? Yes, he is. Is he ultimately going to kind of pull back a little bit? Yeah, okay. Is Abbott Texas, is he going to experience some fallout from all of the really extreme voter suppression rules and regulations that they're trying to enforce right now? Yes, and of course we did ask earlier, and it looks like he may not win, or he's not going to win the next election. So, is Flynn going to be convicted of treason? No. Like, you have to wonder if when it came right down to it, he would actually be found mentally fit. Just saying. Is Flynn's brother likely to be removed from the military? That's a yes. So he was part of the group of people, apparently, he was in the room, when reinforcements were not sent out on January 6th. So that's going to be interesting. Is the big lie ever going to stop? Is that nonsense going to at some point diminish? Yeah. Now, this is the thing. There's always going to be a group of conspiracy fanatics who are going to believe it till their last breath. but you're going to see a lessening of the impact, a lessening of the power. But I have to tell you, the people who are now sort of really entrenched in the GOP ideas and attitudes, notice I didn't use the word politics, the MAGA people, the Trumpers, you can't completely underestimate how vocal or even frankly how dangerous they could end up being, because they're in a place where it doesn't matter how insane what they hear is, they simply believe it because it comes from Trump. So as much as we would all like to just dismiss them, we can't do that either. Okay. Are any of the communications between Trump and Putin, are they ultimately going to end up being made public to some degree or another? Yeah. Now I'm hearing, you're not going to get the whole story. You're not going to get all of it, but there is going to be some information that comes out. Are we going to continue to see increased UFO activity? Okay. Is all of the activity that is seen, does it come from planet Earth? No. I mean, honestly, it's impossible to believe, in my opinion, that this galaxy and this planet is the only place with sort of life, human-like life. Doesn't make any sense. Is the voting bill going to is it going to end up passing the Senate? Is that thing going to get through? It will. It will. And are the 2022 and 2024 elections going to be secure and fair? Yes. Are the Republicans going to believe that they're secure and fair? No. And are they going to believe that because they lose? Yes. Is Trump going to end up being involved or dragged into the Epstein case? No. Okay. Wow. So those were a lot of questions. That took almost 40 minutes. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed this. For those of you who like to use their pendulums and go along with the questions, let me know overall how your pendulum was responding versus mine. Always love to hear that feedback. So if you have not yet checked it out, the weekly crystal reading was released just a little while ago. So take a look at that and enjoy it if you wish. And until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you really soon. Bye-bye.